Hi, welcome back to the Dr. Lamb Show. We are on a two-part series on the blood type diet. Last week, we talked about the general overview of what blood type diet is and also the specifics of blood type diet A. So if you didn't watch that, make sure you go to our YouTube channel or our podcast channel and find that episode. Today, we will be going through blood type diet B, O, and AB. So you'll definitely want to, if your blood type is this, make sure you stay tuned. I'm Dr. Carrie Lamb. I'm board certified in family medicine and anti-aging and regenerative medicine, but I like to do functional and integrative medicine to help create better health and well-being for my patients.
And I'm Dr. Jeremy Lamb. I'm board certified in internal medicine as well as anti-aging and regenerative medicine. And I love to talk about diet as well as how it relates to reversing chronic disease. And so today we're going to first start off with the blood type B. And these individuals usually are able to resist many of the severe diseases common to modern life, such as heart disease, metabolic disease, and cancer. In fact, type B, who carefully follows the recommended diet and prevents undue stress in the body, can often bypass severe diseases as well as live long and healthy lives. However, type Bs are more prone to immune system disorders such as MS, lupus, and chronic fatigue syndrome. And so, type B diet is really balanced, it's wholesome, and it includes a variety of foods. And so tell me more about the type B diet, Dr. Carey.
Yeah, I like this because I'm type B, so this definitely will be very relevant to me. So for type Bs, the biggest factor in weight gain are actually corn, buckwheat, lentils, peanuts, and sesame seeds. These foods have different lectins that affect the efficiency of the metabolic process. If you weren't in the first lecture, the lectins are basically part of the foods that can actually cause agglutination or stickiness in your red blood cells. So the interference of these lectins causes stress to the metabolism and can create imbalance in your body, your neuroendometabolic stress response, which can also result in fatigue or fluid retention and hypoglycemia. So the gluten lectin in wheat germ and whole wheat products can often trigger sensitivity or reactions and create inflammation and stress in the body. And that can therefore add more problems to other metabolism slowing foods and then further dysregulating your stress response. So what is an important thing for type Bs to actually leave off, Dr. Jeremy?
Well, this is going to be hard for some people again, but it's important to leave off chicken. So, chicken contains a blood type B agglutinating lectin, and it's in its muscle tissues. And so, these attack the bloodstream and potentially lead to strokes and immune disorders. Type Bs thrive on deep ocean fish, but they should avoid all shellfish. Shellfish also contains the lectins that are disruptive and cause stress to the type B system.
That's so
Type B is the only
interesting.
blood type.
It's
Mhm.
so interesting because I actually don't really like chicken and I didn't really know why until I read this, but I love fish. So it's good.
Yes.
There's an underlying reason.
Now we know your body knows why. And so type B diet is actually the only blood type that can fully enjoy a variety of dairy foods as their physiology allows them to digest and metabolize sugar and dairy products without slowing down or stress. Do you like dairy, Dr. Carey?
Yeah, but we know that, yeah, some dairy is definitely in moderation, as a lot of dairy is not good, especially in America.
Hmm.
So most nuts and seeds like peanuts, sesame seeds, and sunflower seeds are actually not advised for type Bs as they contain the lectins that can interfere with insulin production. Interfering with this metabolic process can therefore lead to long-term disruption in energy and diabetes and weight gain. So wheat also is not tolerated well by most type Bs as they contain the lectin that reduces insulin efficiency And then that leads to a failure to stimulate fat burning and weight gain. Corn and buckwheat are major factors in type B weight gain, and that can also contribute to sluggish metabolism, insulin irregularity, fluid retention, and fatigue, and just cause lots of stress. And rye, which contains a lectin that settles in the vascular system, causes blood disorders and potentially strokes. So definitely got to be very careful about that.
Fruits and vegetables are generally well tolerated and should be taken generously. The one thing that you should look out for is tomatoes, as they have lectins that irritate the stomach lining.
Mm.
Now, the benefits of the blood type B diet is that, it helps with your stress response and it counteracts some of the stresses through the neuroendometabolic stress response as well. And so there are limits to your human body's ability to handle stress. And so if that level of stress remains high and overtops the capacity of the NEM circuits, then different organs, systems begin to wear down and malfunction and bring up unpleasant symptoms. And so the blood type B diet calls for many foods that help the metabolism to function smoothly and ensuring the function and the smooth function of metabolic processes in the body is very important so you can avoid the metabolic stress such as IBS, weight gain, and excessive inflammation.
So for all of you type Bs out there, does this sound very accurate? And do you start seeing connections with this information and how your body can react to certain foods? Learning about your blood type diet can help you understand a lot of strange symptoms and reactions that are going on and that might have been going on for years and can be very intensely rewarding and comforting. If you're eager to know more about the blood type diet, as you should always do this with a practitioner support, call our office 714-709-8000 for a free initial phone call, and we will be able to help you out and to navigate this. And if you would like more information, definitely check out the links and we'll be putting the article for the blood type diet in there. So now we have two more blood types to look at. Let's start with type AB, Dr. Jeremy.
Well, people with blood type AB behave A-like, so they have weak stomach acid, and also B, where they are genetically programmed for the consumption of meats. And so it can be really tricky to find the right balance of animal protein that will not create extra stress on the body. Type ABs, they do best when their muscles tissues are slightly alkaline. And so type ABs can't metabolize meat efficiently because of the low stomach acid. So it's really important to watch portion size and frequency. Chicken has lectins that irritate the blood and the digestive tract of type ABs, and so that causes more stress on the metabolic process. Tofu is a really good protein supplement for type ABs, as it has really high quality protein and it doesn't cause us extra stress. Other proteins, such as nuts, seeds, beans, and legumes, present a mixed picture. So just eat nuts and seeds in small amounts and with caution.
And type ABs also, they can tolerate dairy foods fairly well, but always watch out for excessive mucus production from eating dairy. Cultured or fermented dairy also can be easily consumed and digested for those with type AB physiology with less stress in the body. And they would also actually do well on grains, even wheat, but keep in mind that the inner kernel of the wheat grain is highly acidic, forming in the muscle for type ABs, which can lower the muscle's potential and therefore make it less efficient for them to do physical activity or exert themselves. So keeping muscles more alkaline lessens stress on their body when they're exercising. So type AB benefits from a diet richer in rice rather than pasta. Tell us about the type AB's weak immune system.
Yeah, they have a weaker immune system, so they will benefit more from vegetables, which are very high in phytochemicals. Fruits, especially those rich in vitamin C, such as grapefruits, lemons, and kiwis, are also a strong contributor to immune health. And it's especially important to have a strong and smoothly functioning immune system, right? As it's a critical component to a well-balanced neuroendometabolic stress response. Remember that oranges can irritate the digestive system and interfere with nutrient absorption. So more alkaline fruits such as grapes, berries, and plums can actually help to balance the grains that are acid forming in the muscle tissues. Tomatoes are okay in those in type ABs, so you can eat more tomatoes. And type ABs should actually begin each day by drinking a glass of warm water with freshly squeezed lemon, about half of a lemon, to cleanse the system of mucus accumulated while sleeping. And so people with type AB blood can find it a little tricky to really balance their diet because of multiple antigens and struggling between both A and B. If you're struggling with this, then don't try to do it on your own. Call 714-709-8000 and we'll be able to help you out and help guide you with easier ways to find that balance of what your body needs. And now we're on to our last blood type O. So Dr. Carey, tell us more about that.
Yeah, type O's thrive on intense physical exercise and animal protein. Unlike the other blood types, the type O muscle tissue should be slightly on the acidic side, and meat is usually more acidic. So type O's can efficiently digest and metabolize meat because they tend to have higher stomach acid content. Understanding that this would be if they didn't have any gut issues, right? The success of the type O diet depends on the use of lean, chemical-free meats, poultry, and fish. So consuming these kind of high quality animal protein ensures that the smooth muscles can function in the body without stress, okay? Type O's don't really like dairy products and grains as much as the other blood types. So if you are trying to lose weight and you are a type O, you should try restricting consumption of grains, breads, legumes, and beans. So the leading factor in metabolic dysregulation and weight gain for type O's is gluten. Gluten that can be found in wheat germ and whole wheat products, as that can interfere with insulin efficiency and slow down metabolic rate. What else can cause weight gain in type O's, Dr. Jeremy?
Well, beans and legumes, specifically like lentils and kidney beans, contain lectins that deposit in the muscle tissue and make them less charged for physical activity. And so this puts extra burden on metabolic readiness of the body in regards to physical exertion. The other factor that contributes to weight gain in type O is that types O's actually have a tendency to have low levels of thyroid hormone or unstable thyroid function. And this obviously causes more metabolic problems. Therefore, it's good to avoid foods that inhibit thyroid hormone, such as cabbage, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, and mustard greens. And it's good to increase kelp, seafood, and iodized salt. These help to increase your hormone production. And so, Dr. Carey, what are some vegetables that cause problems?
So even though we love vegetables, some vegetables can cause more problems in type O, such as the brassica family, like cabbages or cauliflowers, and can actually inhibit thyroid function. So eat more vegetables that are high in vitamin K, which help the clotting factor, which is also weak in type O's. This would just be green leafy vegetables. The nightshade vegetables can also cause lectin deposit in the tissue surrounding the joint. So gotta be careful for nightshades like eggplants and tomatoes. And because of the high acidity of their stomach, type O's should eat fruits that are more alkaline, such as berries and plums, rather than citrus. Type O's should also restrict the use of dairy. Okay, their system is not designed for proper metabolism of dairy. And especially if you're a type O of African ancestry, you should eliminate dairy and eggs altogether.
Okay, and so that's what we have for our type O diet. And so, again, if you're interested in learning more about these blood type diets specifically and wanting more guidelines, the link to the article will be in the description, as well as you can always call into our office at 714-709-8000, and we will be able to give you more information and help you out. So that's all we have for today on the Dr. Lam Show. And if you've really liked this information, then please subscribe to the channel and also to share this with other people as well. Thanks again, and remember that we're always here to empower you to take control of your health.